People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, Granit Xhaka. Now, that's why I'm smiling, because it either fills you with rage or it fills you with laughter. I'm tired of speaking about Xhaka. I'm tired of hearing his name. I'm tired of hearing what happened at the Emirates. End of the day, it is what it is. Emirates more or less said that, I don't want to say it's facts that he's going to go in January, but it looks like he's gone in January. The blessing in disguise, and that I believe Arsenal needed a midfielder in the midfield, a better midfielder anyways. So hopefully that presses the case for us to go and either find a deep line playmaker, a box-to-box player, or for me it would be someone that's a bit of both. Someone that can receive the ball off the centre halves and play it forward, but someone that can also defend. Like, you look at Fabinho, would you necessarily say he's a defensive midfielder? No. Would you say he necessarily can't contribute going forward? He scored a lovely goal against City, of course, but he can receive it off the centre halves, but his job is more or less to break up play. And he's not necessarily always sitting in front of the back four of Liverpool. He's getting about, putting out fires. We need a man like that, someone that's agile, mobile, can put out fires. When people think defensive midfielder, it doesn't need to be. It needs to be someone defensively minded, and that would be my thing, innit? But I believe, I don't even know the regions of this interview. It's in English. He's giving an interview in relation to the Arsenal thing that happened. I don't know if this is a Swiss-based publication or a German. It's called Bleak. I'm going to just assume it's Switzerland, because, I mean, why? I know he's a German speaker, but why would he be in Germany? Would it not make sense to speak to the Swiss people? But, yeah, man. Let's go on. This is the first time actually reading it, so let's carry on. First question is, Xhaka, how are you feeling after the craziness of the last few days? He said, you could say things have been a bit frantic. Last week in particular was a very emotional experience for me, but I'm doing very well again. I've trained well this week, and I'm looking forward to my next assignments in the club, and of course on the national team. Now, he's also been linked with Newcastle people, so there might be truth in that. It might be was, who knows? He's someone, the interviewer has gone on and said, let's begin at the very start. In the 2-2 draw against Palace 2 weeks ago, you were booed off. Can you describe your feelings on the pitch? When my shirt number lit up on the fourth officials panel and our own fans broke into gleeful jubilation, that hit me very hard and really upset me. It was very hurtful and frustrating. I can't understand a reaction like that even now, especially the vehementness of it. I can't say that word, people. That's too mad for me. Of it, and the extreme hostility directed against me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, being at the Emirates, I remember it. I felt first, I think a bit of it was Emery's finally made a substitution, really, and now it's the fact that he's taken off Xhaka, his son. Do you get it? The guy that's always playing. And I don't feel Emery's in. You can't blame Emery for what the fans or what Xhaka did. It's not his fault. But I do think Emery, he's picked a hill to die on with Xhaka. Xhaka is an easy target. Sometimes he's constructive criticism. If someone's not good enough, they're not good enough. But sometimes he's scapegoated when it weren't him and whatnot. We know fans talking extremes. We know with YouTube and everything, people get fame off agendas, and certain people have made an agenda for either Xhaka or the manager or whatever so much that they always have to stick with it. Whether it was Emery in, whether it was Xhaka, whether it's Mustafi, you don't know Arsenal. There's many different agendas and stuff to get at people. But I do think Emery has to hold his hands up. Not to that, but the building up on it is that Xhaka's form, to describe it, has been if he thinks Xhaka is the guy, he's the guy. But you've made him captaincy when nobody can really see what he offers on the field. And I'm sure some of the players must have been bewildered beyond what we hear about how he's very much the leader and whatnot. We still don't know what we get from Xhaka. We don't know why he's in the side. We don't know why he plays consistently. So I think Emery just keep him playing him in poor form and making him captain, and this position of importance in the side kind of built up hate. I don't say hatred because it's a big word, but for want of other words, hatred towards Xhaka. Because some fans do have hatred to him beyond the fact of being a professional footballer. Because you might hate him as a footballer. There's no reason to hate him personally. Do you get it, people? My opinion, I tried very hard with Xhaka to support him and whatnot. I still think there's a decent player in there, but at the end of the day, you've got to call a spade a spade. He's not good enough to play consistently for this club. He can play as a squad man. This is all prior to what's happened, but it is what it is. But he's not good enough to be a regular starter. Now, a bit of it was ironic, because Emery subbed Xhaka now, and the boost started to come when he was walking slowly off the field and things, because he's costing his team, he's costing us. Now the fans aren't right. If I'm Xhaka, I'll do the same thing. It would hurt me. It would hurt me. I wouldn't understand it as well, beyond the fact that you might not agree with me, but it can't be nice to hear all of them fans want you off the field, whether it's directly at you or not. It turned into abuse. He's not right for doing all of that, but every action has a reaction. Man, are human, innit? Moving on, let's say he's gone on to say, are people who start attacking their players genuine fans? As far back as I can remember, fans have always been part of my sport, and right from the start I've had a lot of respect for fans' enthusiasms and the hardship they endure as supporters. Their criticism, when it's fair, makes you grow as an athlete, and the power and energy they contribute to the game makes every athlete love football even more. I feel like I'm a part of a big footballing family. But at a time you are experiencing a lot of hostility and your own football family insults you, it hurts a lot. I don't mean to say that I can't take criticism, but if the team and us don't play well, we'll have to work and listen on it. But insulting and swearing your own captain will cause upset and a bad atmosphere for the team you're actually supposed to be supporting. That makes no sense for me, and it weakens the team spirit. And of course, that's true. I don't feel I don't feel anybody's right or wrong. I think every action has a reaction, but I do think certain fans have to look at themselves. Like, a lot of fans, not just with Xhaka, there's a lot of agendas with this club. Like, look at EMERY. A lot of people didn't want EMERY at this club, so from the start he could do nothing right. A lot of people were so happy with Wenger going or whatever, that, and there's nothing wrong with that, that they condoned everything EMERY done, and it's only now you're seeing this nonsense. That's one example of agendas. Obviously, you know, you can boost your YouTube career, whatever, if you go on social media, Xhaka this, Xhaka that, this, that, and it is quite poisonous. Like, I was waiting for my AFTV interview, and it gets a bit poisonous at times, because you got little virgins and fans going and screaming, what do you think of Xhaka? Shit, what do you think of shit Xhaka? And even if you think that, like, it's not healthy, man. Like, it's a witch hunting. For me, Xhaka should never play for this club again. We freeze him out, but it's not healthy, man. It's nasty. And this club, our fans, we do have fans that scapegoat. It does happen, people. Mustafi runs away. Mustafi's been terrible since he signed for Arsenal, but runs away. He weren't at fault. It was Xhaka and Guendouzi, and people were all on Mustafi's back. Even Mustafi come out and say, and I'm not defending Mustafi necessarily because he's a poor footballer, but what you lot know me on my channel, what I don't stand for is scapegoating, constructive criticism. If a man's rubbish, he's rubbish. If he's played good, he's played good. Xhaka, on the face of it, at Arsenal, as Arsenal captain now and as an Arsenal player, hasn't cut the mustard. I don't think he's a terrible footballer. He makes terrible decisions and he's not consistent enough. He's not improved. He's not been what we thought. We heard stuff like Swiss Perlo from some of his former Switzerland teammates. But he has had good runs of form and there is a player in there. I don't think we're the team to harness this player out of him, because for me, we need to get the midfield right and we can't afford to have any passengers in midfield. And Xhaka is a passenger. I think you've got to build a side around Xhaka of sorts, because he describes himself as a false 10. The best way for Xhaka would be to have no real... obviously to defend, but to have no real defensive responsibilities. And do I think Xhaka is good enough to really build a team around that, to let him thrive with his crossfield passes and stuff? Not necessarily. I don't believe that. So yeah, my problems with Xhaka is he's got technical ability. I like his grit. I like his determination, but he's immobile. He's very cumbersome and immobile. He plays very blinkered and he's not switched on defensively. He doesn't have the pros of playing him don't outweigh the cons. It's very much the other way around, people. But it is what it is. You published a statement after the incident. In it, you wrote that you suffered verbal abuse, and he said, yes, that's true. There's a lot of examples I could pour in and that have been said to me and my family. But let's face it, we're talking about football and the captaincy. I know that means the world to a lot of people here in London. I've been 100% behind my club and my role as a player since I came here. I'm proud to be playing for this big club. I've said how much it means to me on more than one occasion. To be fair to Xhaka, he has. But we're at a point now where I have to say clearly, and we ought to take stock and make sure that things are not getting completely out of hand. Throughout my life, I've always respected the values of fair play, respect and loyalty. And to be fair, people, let's speak for the majority of logical people. I don't agree with the social media abuse on players, people. I don't agree with it. You see Maitland-Niles, Iwobi previously, many players. I don't agree with it. By all means, constructive criticism. If someone's played good, they've played good. If they play crap, they've played crap. But there's a line. You don't go at a man's family. You don't go at a man's pregnant wife. You don't go at, even though his young daughter is not old enough to thank God she's not old enough to read and comprehend these things. You don't go at that. That's disgusting. And these are the sort of things that makes me hate the internet, because these people would not. It's nothing to be proud of saying that with your chest in person, but these people wouldn't say that in the flesh. They wouldn't. And are they proud of themselves? And it's a sickness, because more time these people are law-abiding citizens and stuff, and they're going out there and they're saying just nastiness, like, to come out of your mouth or formulate them sentences about wishing cancer on anyone, let alone a child that's done nothing to you. That the only crime that child has had, that has committed, is that's Xhaka's son, daughter, that's Xhaka's offspring. What the hell, people? Fix up the people. And I'm speaking to the small minority, because I know you lot that watch Deluded, you're not carrying on with that foolishness, but them man there, them people there with that foolishness, they should be flogged, they should be beaten up. I'm not going to lie to you, because there's no room for that verbal sort of stuff. So Xhaka, I apologise for Arsenal fans. I think you need to come out with a proper apology, but for the isolated, the cancer stuff and the sort of nastiness that sort of things was, people, I apologise on behalf of all rational Arsenal fans, because you know yourself, the majority of Arsenal fans, we're not going to come out and say that, man. Like, you're not going to say that. Like, you're not going to come out and say, not a human being, let alone a football fan, who's going to say that? Because life has a funny way, these words you put out in the universe has a funny way of hitting you, people. These people wishing illnesses and stuff, I'm not wishing illnesses on people, but there's, like, life is funny. You can wish an illness on someone, you go home, your mum's got that, people. Do you get it? You've got that. Your family, someone in your family died. Life can hit you very hard, so people need to think about the words and the fuckery they're coming with half the time. That's where it is, part of my language, but it's fuckery. Don't deserve that. And I hope the people that was doing that foolishness, they can, they feel good about themselves, because it's a ridiculous thing. And he said, you talk about social media, what do the insults against you say about today's society? What began as a news bulletin for friends is increasingly becoming a forum for people who want to insult others without any consequences. Now you can stir up hatred against private individuals or people in the public sphere, such as actors, athletes and musicians, if an opinion or performance isn't to your liking. The rules of common decency and respect are obviously no longer valid for a lot of people. That's true. Like, Xhaka's 100% honest on that one, people. What kind of people... Yeah, he doesn't... You know what? There's nothing in that one. He's spoken... After the interviews tried to press him further on that, and he's not on it. What do social media contribute to an athlete? For me, my platforms offer the chance to let my fans be part of my private life and athletic career, to follow me in the truest sense. What used to be fan mail is now more up to date and closer to life due to Instagram and all the rest. I think that's really great, but this opportunity is also a double-edged sword, as I've learned. And for me, people, in my deluded stuff, that's something I've learned as well, people, because it's weird, man. It's weird. And what I don't like about Instagram in particular, and this is just me chiming in now, I don't like how if someone messages me and I reply to it, they're now able to chat to man forever. Do you get it, people? And it goes two ways. I like to reply to people saying, yo, deluded, this and that, because, obviously I don't follow people. It says block. When I don't follow these people, it says block, accept, or whatever. You accept, they show you love, and then you get messages saying you're this, you're that, you're the other, you're blah, blah, blah. Obviously I just block them. It's like, rah, like... It's like right. It's a double-edged sword, people, and that people feel they can talk to you, and I feel exactly like Xhaka. It's like people feel they can talk to you any sort of way. They feel that because you're giving them something, like he's a professional footballer, and I guess completely different. I'm offering my opinions on YouTube. People think they own you and they have the right to talk to you how they want. You have to do what they want. It's almost the customer's always right, and there's truth to that. But man are human at the same time, and I always think about the social media effects it has on the abuse of the individual, but I always think of I'm not defending them, but the people that are typing this nastiness, it's got to be some mad mental illness. You've got to be mad to think about it, people. If I don't like Xhaka, bear in mind, I don't know Xhaka. Xhaka was born in Switzerland of Albanian descent and whatnot. His family and my family never crossed paths, got no reason to hate him, no reason to not like him and whatnot, but I'm going to go on the internet. And I'm going to go on the internet, people, and wish him this and actually type it out. Like, I wish you get, forgive me because I'm not saying this, but I wish you get cancer. I wish you get this illness. I want your daughter this. Do you not think that's a mad illness? Like, do these people not stop and think, yo, I'm moving a bit mad? Now, I know it's not the way to go, people, but if in life, if people like this got a punch in the face or whatnot, then they wouldn't come with this stuff, people. So, this is cowardly. It's not even cowardly. Being a coward's too nice. It's too nice to them. It's just damn right sickness, people. They throw more verbal abuse at you, such as wishing your wife would die. What were your reactions to the honest words in your message? I got a lot of positive feedback, especially from the sports scene, both from players and coaches, also from a lot of fans of Arsenal from all over the world. This shows me that I have addressed an important point here, and it was the right decision to show my emotions as well. Your apology was a bit half-hearted, but to be fair, it's been a long time coming. This has been very well received and understood by the footballing community. That's what he's gone on to say. When you debuted in 2011 with the national team, social media didn't exist. That's a lie. It wasn't as mainstream. Was it easier for you as a player? What do you mean easier? He said. 8 years ago, there was already heavy criticism by fans and media. But what has changed through social media, such as shitstorms, is that they can overrun you from 1 minute to the next. Also, news is the cloak. Also, it's used as the cloak of anonymity you can use to attack players without fear of consequence. Above all, it is that certain moves and sentiments on social platforms are often just adopted unethically and are no longer checked or questioned. And that's another thing, people, because obviously we didn't talk about the sheep mentality. I do think a lot of fans in general, and specific to the club, I like Arsenal, a lot of fans lack backbone. I'm not talking about you lot, the majority of fans do. Us sort of people have backbones, but a lot of fans are weird with this YouTube and social media stuff. Man believe just because somebody said it, it means, okay, sheep mentality, I've got to adopt that. It's weird, people. The social media thing is weird. I'm not going to lie to you. Moving forward, someone said, he said, what do you say to the people who think because you're earning a healthy salary, you should just put up with it, which is completely stupid. For me, the two things are completely unrelated, and it's not a license for insults. Everyone should practice respect and decency towards their fellow human beings and use criticism constructively, regardless of status or income. As a member of the team, I've always been aware of my responsibility and the fans, and always treat the fans in London politely and take time for them. There won't be any other opinions on that, and I've been behaving this way since I've been in the public eye. And if I get constructive criticism or even more insults, I'll take it calmly and objectively. As I said, if we perform badly, you have to put up with it. I know that all too well from Basel and also Gladbach. You've actually been playing well in the last 18 months. How do you feel of your assessments as a footballer in England, to be fair? Honestly, I don't think it is my job to comment on that. I'm really my own worst critic, and how others assess my performance, classify or rate it is often subjective, and everybody sees football differently. That's a very diplomatic answer. Because I know, Jack, I agree with what you said there, but I know you wanted to free it up there. Apologies for kicking the camera. And he said, looking back, what has your time at Arsenal been like? For me, looking back, it's been positive for a long time. After a difficult start, I played a lot and overall I've had a great time at Arsenal. My family and I also feel very well in the City of London. The events of the last week don't change that at all. I will continue to stay positive, giving my all to even greater extent for the team. The national team has come just at the right time to clear your head. Honestly, for me, it's always the right time for the national team. I love to be on the pitch with Switzerland. And then he's gone on to talk about irrelevant things, really. He's gone on to talk about Switzerland towards the end. Oh, here's one last thing. He said, so you haven't finished with Arsenal next. You can be sure that I'll keep fighting and putting myself out there in every training session. I feel that last week has been dealt with and I'm ready. Now, I want to draw a line in the sand at least until January. For me, my feelings is that Xhaka never plays for this club again and he should be sold. While I have sympathy for the fans and also him. But by the same logic, if he has going to be brought back into the team, we need a line to be drawn under the sand. Now, my greatest fear is actually not with Xhaka. It's that Xhaka, on top of Arsenal's main talking point being our poor form, is that every game he's named in the lineup or training and warming up on the Emirates, it's going to be the boos, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. It will probably go away after a while, but it will still happen. And that's not good for Xhaka, it's not good for the club, it's not good for that to be a talking point before any game, and it's also not good for his teammates, people. Like, we should be focusing on Arsenal or whoever we're playing, not the fact Xhaka is getting booed and whatnot. Again, the boos will stay until he leaves the club, and I think the club have really got to do a number on that. I don't feel Xhaka helped himself. If he thinks he should apologise or not, but I don't think he helped himself with his Instagram comments. So we'll see how this happens, man. But it is what it is. For all of Xhaka's criticism, for Xhaka's criticism on his form and whatnot, I will say that I always feel he's given his all for the shirt, regardless of if I think he's been good enough or not. But that's his interview, innit, people. It is what it is now, people. And I do think he was wrong to kind of react. He was right, but obviously wrong to react. I do think some Arsenal fans need to look at themselves, because you can't be screaming F off to anyone and then cry that someone said F off back to you. Regardless of if you pay his wages, you do this, you do that. You have no entitlement over a human being. And a lot of people have to look close to home, and I think social media, fans on social media in general, away from this, because you see the racial incidences and whatnot. People need to have a long, hard look at themselves. But for now, I'm going to keep it moving. People, Deluded, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.